Hey, I'm Angie.
And I am Aislinn.
And we're back for another episode of the Food Hero Cooking Show. Today we're making one of my favorite dishes, butternut squash and chili pan fry. All right, Ace, what do we need to do now?
Wash our hands.
All right, we're back. Hands are clean and we're ready to cook. So, I'm excited about this. You know that butternut squash is one of my absolute favorite dishes. And I have a tip for you. So, butternut squash can be super difficult to peel. Meaning that you can end up slicing your finger off. I have actually sliced myself many times trying to use a vegetable peeler on this. And you can actually peel a butternut squash with a very sturdy vegetable peeler, but it is difficult. So I have a tip. What I've done, and this is what I do, I take the whole butternut squash and I just poke holes in the outside with a fork, all right, and then I put it in the microwave for 4 minutes. Then I flip it over and do 4 more minutes. And when it comes out, you cut it in half and you let it cool, and the skin, you can actually just peel most of it away, all right? Without any injury occurring, which is nice, okay? And you can see this end here. I want to just go ahead and cut the end off. All right. And I might actually even peel the skin off that, and we may use that. But that is a super easy way, okay? The other thing is, after you've done that too, you want to scrape the seeds out, and you can save the seeds for later. So I know lots of people roast pumpkin seeds. I actually think butternut squash seeds taste even better. So save these seeds. You'll want to rinse them in a fine mesh strainer. And get them all clean, and then you can roast those in the oven. And butternut squash seeds actually roast very quickly, and you'll actually know, you could hear them pop when they're done. Okay, so nice treat there. So if you have parts that you can't peel with your hand, you can then of course use a standard vegetable peeler to just peel the rest of that skin off. But just remember to peel away from yourself, okay, so that you're not cutting yourself. But you see how easily that now comes off. And if you're still struggling a little bit with it, you know, you can also use a paring knife as well. But much easier and much less risk of injury with that. And then once you're done, you just want to continue to cut up your butternut squash. And while I'm doing this, Aislinn, what I'm going to have you do is go ahead and turn our electric skillet on. And reminder again, you can just do this in a large pan on top of your stove.
What?
So turn it to about 250 on the electric skillet there. And what you're going to do is you're going to put about 1.5 tablespoons of oil, okay? And it doesn't have to be super exact. So remember, where's our tablespoon? Which one's a tablespoon? The big one, okay? So just do about 1.5 of those, okay? Very carefully.
1.5?
And remember, this is getting hot, so you need to be very careful.
So like right here?
So there's your half, yep, and then you can do 1 full one. So it's 1.5.
Veggies, fruits, and
now remember, I want you to be very careful, Aislinn, okay? Because this is hot, right? So you need to be very careful, okay? Especially when you have oil, be very careful about that.
Because then it can shoot up at you.
Yes, so you have to, you know that, you have to be very careful. Now go ahead and start pushing your onion around in there, okay? You're gonna cook that for about 3 minutes, okay?
Mom, guess what?
Yes, Aislinn, what?
Squash is actually high in vitamin A.
Vitamin A, yes. I always say that I eat a lot of winter squash in the winter, and that's what gives me my winter tan.
And vitamin B6.
A little bit of vitamin B6 as well.
How you doing on the squash?
I'm doing pretty good. Almost done here, and we're about ready for it. And then we're going to add the chili powder and the salt, okay? And you want me to take over on these onions?
Yep.
What I'm going to have you do then is I'm going to have you grab the squash, and I'm going to go ahead and turn it back up to about 300. Okay, so the squash, we've just kind of cubed it. It doesn't have to be perfect, though. Look at that. Oh, it's going to be so good. All right, and then I'm going to have you add 1 teaspoon of the salt. So grab the teaspoon. I'm going to add that in there.
This one?
Yes, that one, please.
Oh, and add it to that?
Yes.
pot meals, the Popeye smoothies, pretty chill.
All right, the recipe also calls for 1/2 teaspoon of chili powder. So you want to get that in there, Aislinn?
Yep.
Roll-ups have appeal. Kale dip is a real...
Chili batter is tasty. It's not even really hot. Sometimes I like to add more. Do you think we can add another half teaspoon?
Yep.
Let's add one more half teaspoon. I really like the chili powder in this. So good. And then once you get that in there, now sprinkle it all around. Okay, we'll move it around.
Onions smell good.
They do smell good. We're going to go ahead and cover this and let it cook for about 10 minutes. Okay? And we're going to reduce the heat just to kind of steam our squash a little bit more. Okay? Turn it
already
down a
foggy.
little bit. We need to check on it though. We're going to check on it in about 5 minutes and see how it's doing. Okay?
Okay.
Because we did kind of partially cook the squash a little bit in the microwave. So we're going to check it in about 5.
Look at all that water.
Yeah, that's steam. And that can actually be really hot, Aislinn. So what you want to do is you always want to open it away from yourself. See all that steam come out?
Yeah, it's going down.
Yeah, you want to open it away from yourself so that you don't get burned from that. All right, so it's been about 5 minutes. They are getting softer. And I want to mention, during that 5 minutes, I did take the lid off to stir it once. You want to stir occasionally, just so that it doesn't burn on the bottom. All right? It's looking pretty good. I think we're going to give it just a couple more minutes to steam. And we've got it at about 300 degrees. And then we'll check it again and add our diced green chili. Okay, it should be about done. Again, we're going to tilt the lid away from us. Woo! Steam.
Ooh.
Yeah. Alrighty, so we're going to add the diced green chilies now. And these are just canned diced green chilies. Go ahead and pour those in. Okay. You drain them, but there's a little juice in there. Yep, let's get all those out of there. Alright, and now you're just going to cook these in here for about 2 to 3 minutes. We're going to let that cook. But I think it's about done. Okay, I think it is done, Aislinn. So what we're going to do, now the recipe does call for a cup of cheese, and we would like to use, you can use Monterey Jack cheese, any kind you want. We're only using a half cup because I have one daughter who can't have dairy, and a lot of us love dairy, so we're just going to do half and half. So I'm going to let you go ahead and sprinkle the cheese in that area up there. Just go ahead and pour it on there, and then we'll leave some for Avery over here. Okay, perfect. And again, pepper jack is also really nice in here. I actually like a little bit of cotija too. So we'll put the lid on just to let that cheese melt. And I must say, this recipe is a delicious side dish. We're going to have it today with our carne asada tacos.
Carne.
But it also works really well as a burrito filling or even for breakfast burritos. So it definitely has many uses and it is quite delicious. In fact, last year we served it at Thanksgiving. Okay, again, we'll open it up. Look at all that steam. Okay, we've got a nice melt there on our cheese. This is going to be delicious. We're going to get it turned off, and we are going to get the rest of our lunch ready because we have some friends coming over for lunch today, don't we? Super exciting. So with that, we're going to sign off on another episode of the Food Hero Cooking Show. Happy cooking. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Always fun. Yeah, yeah, yeah.